Get out. I mean it, Mom. Pack your things and get out of my house. You're nothing but a useless parasite now. Those words came from my son Darren's mouth on a Tuesday afternoon in March, standing in the kitchen of the home I'd helped him buy. The same kitchen where I'd taught him to make pancakes when he was 7. The same kitchen where I'd held him while he cried over his first breakup at 16. I stood there, my hands still damp from washing the breakfast dishes, staring at this 42-year-old man I barely recognized. His face was red, a vein pulsing in his temple. Behind him, his wife Christina smirked, her arms crossed over her designer blouse. The one I'd seen her Instagram post about last week, bragging it cost $800. "Darren, please," I started. "No!" He slammed his hand on the granite countertop. "You quit your job, Mom. You just quit without asking us, without thinking about how we'd manage." "I'm 70 years old," I said quietly. "I worked in that office for 43 years. My knees are shot. My doctor said—" "I don't care what your doctor said." Christina stepped forward, her voice sharp. "Do you know how much it costs to keep you here? The groceries, the utilities you waste? You eat our food, use our water, our electricity, and now you have no income? That's rich." I felt something crack inside my chest. Not my heart. That had been cracking slowly for months. This was something deeper. My dignity, maybe. "I have my Social Security," I said. "I have my pension starting next month. I'm not asking you for money." "Your pension?" Darren laughed. Actually, laughed. "Mom, that's like $1,200 a month. That doesn't even cover a quarter of what you cost us. Face it, you're a burden, a useless burden, and I'm done carrying you." Behind me, I heard a small gasp. I turned to see my granddaughter Emma, 9 years old, standing in the doorway with her backpack. She'd just come home from school. Her eyes were wide, filling with tears. "Daddy?" she whispered. "Emma, go to your room," Christina snapped. But Emma didn't move. She looked at me, and in that moment, I saw what my son had become through his daughter's eyes, and I saw what I had to become. "Fine," I said, my voice steady despite the trembling in my hands. "I'll pack my things." "You have until Friday," Darren said. 3 days, then I'm changing the locks." As I walked up the stairs to the small room they'd relegated me to 6 months ago, the storage room they'd converted by throwing in an air mattress and a lamp, I heard Christina's voice drift up behind me. "Finally. We can turn that space into the home gym I wanted." I closed the door and sat on the air mattress. My suitcase was already under the bed. I'd pulled it out this morning before Darren woke up, before the confrontation, because I'd known this was coming. But what they didn't know was that I had already been planning. They didn't know that this 70-year-old woman had one more card to play. They didn't know about the lottery ticket folded in my wallet, the numbers I'd checked 3 times at the gas station last Saturday morning. $9,400,000 after taxes, and they definitely didn't know that I'd been documenting everything. Let me back up. Let me tell you how I got here, to this moment, standing in this storage room with my life packed into one suitcase and a secret in my pocket that would change everything. 2 months earlier, in January, I was still working at Morrison & Associates, the accounting firm where I'd started as a file clerk in 1982. I was 70 years old, still taking the bus downtown every morning at 6:30, still organizing files and managing the office calendar like I had for 4 decades. My morning routine was sacred. I'd wake at 5, make coffee in my little room, and eat a piece of toast with butter. At 5:45, I'd walk the 3 blocks to the bus stop, and on the way, I'd stop at the 7-Eleven on the corner. Every Tuesday and Saturday, I bought a lottery ticket. Same numbers every time, 7, 14, 23, 31, 42, and the Powerball 19. My birthday, my late husband Gerald's birthday, Darren's birthday, Emma's birthday, my grandson Noah's birthday, and the day I married Gerald, July 19, 1975. I'd been buying those same numbers for 30 years, ever since Gerald died. He used to say, "Ruth, you're wasting your money." But I'd smile and say, "It's $2 of hope, Gerald. That's cheap." The morning routine was how I stayed sane, because living in Darren's house, Well, it hadn't been peaceful for a long time. It started slowly, after my husband Gerald passed in 2019. I'd lived alone for a year in our small house in Riverside, managing fine on my salary and Gerald's life insurance. But then the medical bills from Gerald's final months started piling up. Cancer treatment isn't cheap, even with Medicare. I depleted our savings, then took out a reverse mortgage on the house. That's when Darren stepped in. Or rather, that's when Christina smelled opportunity. "Mom, this is ridiculous," Darren had said, sitting in my living room with a stack of my bills spread on the coffee table. "You're drowning here. Come live with us. We have space." They'd just bought a 4-bedroom house in the suburbs, a house I'd helped with the down payment, $30,000 from Gerald's life insurance. At the time, I thought it was an investment in my son's future. I was proud to help. "I don't want to be a burden," I'd said. "You won't be," Darren insisted. "Emma and Noah would love having Grandma around, and honestly, Mom, with both of us working, we could use help with the kids after school." Christina had smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "It makes perfect sense, Ruth. We're family." So I sold my house, what was left of it after the reverse mortgage, and moved into their spare bedroom. The one with the window overlooking the backyard, with the closet and the attached bathroom. For the first month, it was fine. I'd take the bus to work, come home at 6, help with dinner, play with the kids. Emma was 7 then, Noah was 5. They'd run to me when I came through the door, hugging my legs, showing me their drawings. But then things shifted. It started with small comments from Christina. "Ruth, we're trying to teach the kids healthy eating habits. Maybe don't give them cookies before dinner?" Or, "Ruth, I have a specific way I like the dishwasher loaded. Can you follow my system?" Then Darren started staying later at work. He's a sales manager at a tech company, always chasing commissions. When he came home, he was tired, stressed. He started snapping at the kids, snapping at me. "Mom, can you keep the TV down? I have calls tomorrow." "Mom, did you really need to run the washing machine at 10 p.m.? "Mom, why are you always in the way?" By the 3rd month, I realized I wasn't a family member anymore. I was hired help who didn't get paid. I'd wake at 5, get ready for work quietly so I wouldn't disturb anyone. But Christina started leaving notes. "Ruth, can you pick up milk on your way home?" "Ruth, Emma needs to be at soccer by 4:30. You'll need to get her there." "Ruth, we're having people over Saturday. Can you keep the kids occupied upstairs?" I'd come home from 8 hours of work to find a sink full of dishes. "Oh, I thought you'd have time to do those," Christina would say. "You're so good at it." The worst part? Darren said nothing. My son, who I'd raised alone after his father walked out when he was 3, who I'd worked 2 jobs to put through college, who I'd supported through his wedding, his career changes, his struggles, he said nothing while his wife erased me. Then, 6 months ago, in September, Christina announced she was pregnant again. They were converting my room into a nursery. "We set up the storage room for you," Darren said, not meeting my eyes. "It's smaller, but you don't need much space, right? It's just for sleeping." The storage room was 10 feet by 8 feet. No closet, no bathroom, 1 small window. They'd moved my belongings in black trash bags. I cried that night for the first time in years. Quietly, so no one would hear. That's when I started the WhatsApp group. My friend Evelyn, who I'd known since we were both young mothers in the same apartment building, had been messaging me for months. "Ruth, are you okay? We never see you anymore." I'd been making excuses. "Oh, I'm just busy with the kids." "Work has been hectic. I'll make it to the park next week." But that night, sitting on the air mattress in the storage room, I typed, "Eve, I need to talk." She called me immediately. I told her everything. The room, the comments, the way they treated me like a servant. How Darren had changed, how I felt invisible. "Ruth," Evelyn said, her voice fierce, "that's elder abuse. You know that, right?" "It's not abuse," I protested. "They're just stressed." "Bullshit. My daughter's a lawyer. I'm sending you her number. And Ruth, start documenting everything." The next day, Evelyn added me to a WhatsApp group called Golden Girls Support Squad. There were 5 of us: me, Evelyn, her friend Patricia, a woman named Gladys from her church, and Dorothy, who lived in Evelyn's building, all of us between 65 and 75, all of us with stories. Patricia's son had stolen her credit cards. Gladys's daughter was forging her signature on checks. Dorothy's grandson had convinced her to add him to her deed, then tried to sell her house out from under her. We started meeting every Tuesday at the park, our morning walk group. We'd walk the 2-mile loop around the lake, and we'd talk. We'd share strategies, legal advice, emotional support. We became each other's lifelines. Document everything, Patricia said during our first walk. Dates, times, what was said. Take photos. If you give them money, keep receipts. If they mistreat you, write it down. So I started a journal, a small notebook I kept in my purse. Every demand, every insult, every time they made me feel less than human. September 15th. Christina told me I'm too loud when I walk. Said I should take my shoes off inside even though everyone else wears shoes. September 22nd. Darren said I'm wasting electricity by reading with my lamp on past 9 p.m. He wants me to use a flashlight. October 3rd. Found out they told the kids not to bother Grandma because I'm tired and grumpy. Emma asked why I don't like her anymore. October 18th. Christina went through my room while I was at work. She threw away my photos of Gerald, said they were cluttering up the space. That last one broke something in me. Those photos were all I had left. Gerald and me on our wedding day. Gerald holding baby Darren. Gerald teaching Darren to ride a bike. I walked to the park that night and cried on a bench. Evelyn found me there. She'd tracked my location on the app we'd all installed after Dorothy had a scare with a fall. "That's it," Evelyn said. "You're calling my daughter tomorrow. This has gone far enough." But I didn't call, because the next week, Christina sat me down at the kitchen table with a stack of papers. "Ruth, we need to talk about your finances," she said. Darren was there too, avoiding my eyes. "Okay," I said slowly. "You're not getting any younger," Christina continued, "and frankly, we're worried. What happens if you get sick? If you need care? We can't afford to support you long term." "I'm not asking you to support me," I said. "I pay for my own food, my own—" "With what?" Christina laughed. "Ruth, you make $32,000 a year. After taxes, that's what? $24,000? That's $2,000 a month. Do you know what it costs to house someone? To feed them? To cover utilities?" "I'm looking for a cheaper place," I started. "No." Darren finally spoke. "Mom, that's not sustainable. What we're proposing is practical. You sign over your Social Security checks to us. We'll manage everything, your expenses, your savings, everything. That way, when you do need care, we'll have built up a fund." I stared at him. "You want me to sign over my Social Security?" "And your pension, when it starts," Christina added. "It's the smart thing to do. We're protecting you, Ruth, from yourself." "No," I said. Christina's face hardened. "No?" "No, that's my money. I earned it." "Ruth." Darren leaned forward. "Be reasonable. You're 70. You're not exactly in a position to be independent. You need us." "I'll move out," I said. "I'll find—" "Find what?" Christina snapped. "An apartment on your income? In this market? Please, you'd be homeless in 3 months. At least here you have a roof over your head." I felt the walls closing in. She was right, and she knew it. My salary barely covered basics. I had $800 in savings, that's it. Years of supporting Darren, of medical bills from Gerald, of helping with that house down payment had left me with nothing. "I need time to think," I said. "Take your time," Christina said sweetly. "But Ruth, until you make the right decision, we're going to have to ask you to contribute more around here. You know, to earn your keep." That's when I became the maid, the nanny, the invisible woman who cooked, cleaned, did laundry, picked up kids, made lunches, ran errands, and was still expected to work 40 hours a week. My alarm went off at 5. I'd shower in the basement bathroom. They said my morning showers were too loud and woke the baby. I'd make breakfast for everyone, pack lunches, help Emma and Noah get ready for school. Then I'd take 2 buses to work because Darren had stopped offering rides, saying gas was too expensive. I'd work all day, exhausted, my knees aching from standing at the filing cabinets. Then I'd take 2 buses home, arriving at 6:30. Dinner needed to be ready by 7. After dinner, dishes, after dishes, helping with homework. After homework, baths. After baths, laundry. After laundry, meal prep for the next day. I'd collapse on my air mattress at 11, and at 5 a.m., it would start again. The Golden Girls support squad kept me sane. Every Tuesday, I'd drag myself to the park for our walk. They'd see me declining, getting thinner, more tired. "Ruth, this is killing you," Dorothy said one morning in December. "You need to do something." "What can I do?" I asked. "I have nowhere to go, no money. If I leave, I'll never see my grandkids again. Christina will make sure of that." "Then you fight," Evelyn said. "But smart. You document, you plan, you prepare, and when you're ready, you strike." "I'm 70 years old," I said. "I'm tired." "You're not dead," Patricia said firmly, "and you're tougher than you think." That Saturday, January 13th, I bought my lottery ticket like always. Same numbers. $2 of hope. The next morning, I checked the numbers on my phone while riding the bus to work. I checked them 3 times, convinced I was reading them wrong. Powerball 19. All 6 numbers. Perfect match. The jackpot was $11 million. After taxes, $9.4 million. I sat on that bus, my hands shaking, and I didn't make a sound. I folded the ticket carefully and put it back in my wallet. And I went to work. For 2 weeks, I told no one, not the Golden Girls, not the Lottery Commission, not Darren. I went to work, came home, cooked, cleaned, and planned. I called Evelyn's daughter, Amanda, the lawyer. I met her at a coffee shop during my lunch break. "My mother told me about your situation," Amanda said. She was in her 40s, sharp-eyed and professional. "Tell me everything." I did. I showed her my journal. I showed her my bank statements, how I'd been depositing my entire paycheck into their household account, keeping only $100 a week for bus fare and personal items. I showed her photos I'd taken of the storage room they called my bedroom. "This is financial exploitation," Amanda said. "Possibly coercion. How much do you have in savings currently?" $800. "Property?" "None. I sold my house to move in with them." "Vehicle?" "No." "Ruth," Amanda said gently, "if you wanted to leave right now today, you could file for emergency housing assistance. There are programs for seniors." "I don't want to leave right now," I interrupted. "I want to leave on my terms." She studied me. "What did you have in mind?" "I want to claim my lottery ticket. I want to set up my finances so they can't touch them. I want to find a place to live, a good place, not some senior housing project. I want to make sure my grandchildren are taken care of. And then," I paused, "then I want them to know exactly what they lost." Amanda smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. "I can help with that, but we need to be strategic. If you claim that ticket right now, it becomes public record. Your son will find out." "So what do I do?" "First, you set up a trust. We'll create an LLC, claim the ticket through that. It'll protect your identity and your assets. Second, you document everything that happens from now until you leave. Every demand, every insult, every instance of exploitation. Third, you find housing. Fourth, you secure your financial future. And fifth," she pulled out a legal pad. "Fifth, you decide what lesson you want to teach them." Over the next month, everything happened quickly and quietly. I claimed the ticket through an LLC Amanda set up called Ruth's Second Chance Holdings. The money hit my new bank account, one Darren didn't know about, on February 3rd, $9,400,000. I cried when I saw that number on my phone. Not from happiness, from grief. Because all I could think was how Gerald would have loved to see this. How we could have traveled, retired early, enjoyed our last years together. Instead, I was 70 years old, living in a storage room and about to use this money to escape my own son. Amanda worked fast. She found me a beautiful 2-bedroom condo downtown near the park, top floor with a balcony overlooking the lake. It was available immediately. The previous owner had moved to assisted living, and their family wanted a quick sale. Cash deal, $350,000. It's yours, Amanda said. Paid in full. They'll have it cleaned and ready by March 1st. I bought furniture. Not expensive stuff, I'm not flashy, but good, comfortable furniture. A real bed, a couch, a TV, a dining table where I could have the Golden Girls over for lunch. I set up a trust for Emma and Noah, $500,000 each, locked until they turned 25. Amanda structured it so Darren and Christina couldn't touch it, couldn't even know about it until the kids were adults. I put $2 million in conservative investments, spread across accounts Amanda recommended. Monthly income, approximately $8,000, plus my Social Security and pension. I kept $100,000 in checking for immediate expenses and emergencies, and I saved $3 million for something special. But I'll get to that. At home, at Darren's house, things got worse. In February, Christina started nickeling and dimming me. Ruth, I calculated your portion of the utilities. It comes to $180 a month. I'll need that from you. Ruth, we're switching to a meal plan service. Your portion is $60 a week. Ruth, you're using too much hot water, 5-minute showers from now on. I paid everything without argument. I documented everything in my journal and in the WhatsApp group. The Golden Girls were the only ones who knew about the money. I'd told them at our Tuesday walk the week I claimed it. $9 million? Evelyn had shrieked, causing joggers to stare. Shh, I'd hushed her. No one can know. Ruth, oh my God, you're free, Dorothy said. When do you leave? Soon, I said. But I'm doing this right. I'm getting everything in order first. What are you going to tell them? Patricia asked. Nothing, I said. I'm just going to disappear. They'll come looking for the money, Gladys warned, once they find out. Let them, I said. By then it'll be protected. But I underestimated Christina's greed. In late February, she cornered me in the kitchen one morning before work. Ruth, we need to talk about your job situation. What about it? I was making Emma's lunch, peanut butter and jelly, apple slices, a juice box. You're 70. You're working 40 hours a week at a job that clearly exhausts you. Have you thought about retiring? I've thought about it, I said carefully. Because if you retired, you'd be home more. You could help more with the kids, the house. And your pension would kick in, right? Eventually. How much? How much what? Your pension. How much is it? I knew this game. It's not finalized yet. Something like $1,200 a month. Christina's face soured. That's it? 43 years and they're giving you $1,200? It's a small firm, I said. I wasn't high up. Well, she crossed her arms. That's disappointing. Still, between that and Social Security, you'd have what? Maybe $2,000 a month? You could contribute that to the household. Cover your costs properly. I'd like to keep working, I said. Why? You hate that job. You come home exhausted every day. Just retire, Ruth. It makes sense. What she meant was, retire so we can take your entire income and you'll be trapped here forever, working for us for free. I quit 3 days later. I walked into Mr. Morrison's office on a Wednesday morning. He's 83, still comes in twice a week to check on things. Ruth, he said, looking up from his desk. What can I do for you? I'm retiring, I said. I'll give you 2 weeks. His face fell. Ruth, no, we need you. You're the backbone of this place. I'm 70 years old, Mr. Morrison. My knees hurt. I'm tired. It's time. He sighed. I understand, you've earned it, but we'll miss you. He paused. What are your plans? Living, I said. Just living. He smiled. Good, you deserve it. My last day was Friday, March 8th. The office threw me a small party. Cake, cards, a gift basket. Mr. Morrison gave me a bonus check, $5,000. For 43 years of loyalty, he said. I cried. Real tears, because these people, my colleagues, had shown me more respect in one afternoon than my own son had in years. That evening I came home and told Darren I'd quit. The explosion was immediate. You did what? I retired, I said calmly. Today was my last day. Without asking us? Christina appeared from the living room. Ruth, That's incredibly selfish. It's my job, my decision. You live in our house, Darren shouted. You should have consulted us. You're right, I said, and I meant it. I should have, which is why I'm also telling you that I'll be moving out. The room went silent. Moving out? Christina's voice was dangerous. To where? I have a place lined up, I lied. Well, not completely. I had the condo, but it wasn't quite ready. A small apartment. I'll be gone by the end of the month. With what money? Darren demanded. My savings, my pension. I'll manage. Your savings? Christina laughed. Ruth, you have what, $1,000? That won't even cover first month and deposit in this city. I have resources, I said vaguely. Darren's face changed. I saw the calculation in his eyes, the suspicion. What resources? Did someone die? Did you inherit something? No, I've just been planning. Bullshit. Christina stepped closer. You've been holding out on us. You've been squirreling money away while we've been supporting you. That's theft, Ruth. I've paid my way, I said. Every penny you've demanded. Not enough. Darren's voice was cold. You owe us, Mom. Years of housing, food, utilities. You owe us at least $50,000. I laughed. I couldn't help it. 50,000? This isn't funny, Christina shrieked. You don't get to just leave. You don't get to quit your job and abandon your responsibilities. My responsibilities? I looked at my son. Darren, I raised you alone. I worked 2 jobs to feed you, clothe you, put you through school. I gave you $30,000 for this house. I've cooked, cleaned, cared for your children, given you everything. What do I owe you? Everything, he shouted. You're my mother. That's what mothers do. And now, when we finally need you, you're bailing? I'm not bailing. I'm living my own life. You don't have a life, Christina screamed. You're 70 years old. You're a burden, Ruth. A useless, burdensome old woman who should be grateful we even let you stay here. Then I'll leave, I said quietly. No. Darren's jaw set. Not until you pay us back. $50,000, or you stay here and work it off. That's extortion, I said. That's family, he replied. That night, I messaged Amanda. I need to move faster. Can I get into the condo early? She replied within minutes. Keys will be ready Monday. I'll meet you there. Pack light and leave quietly. But I didn't get the chance to leave quietly. Because on Sunday afternoon, while I was at the park with the Golden Girls, Christina went through my room. I came home to find her standing in the storage room, my journal in her hands. What is this? She demanded. My stomach dropped. That's private. October 18th. Christina threw away my photos, she read aloud. Said they were cluttering up the space. October 18th? That was 5 months ago. You've been documenting us? Like we're criminals? Give that back. January 29th. Darren said I'm wasting electricity, she continued. February 12th. Christina demanded $180 for utilities. You've been keeping a record of every little thing, planning to, what, sue us? I said give it back. I lunged for the journal, but she held it away. Darren, she called. Darren! He came up the stairs, and she showed him. I watched my son's face harden as he read my words. You've been building a case against us, he said flatly. I've been protecting myself, I said. From what? From family? We took you in, Mom. We gave you a home. And this is how you repay us? By treating us like we're abusing you? You are abusing me. Bullshit. Christina threw the journal at my feet. You want to see abuse? Abuse is being ungrateful. Abuse is lying to people who opened their home to you. Abuse is making us think you're some poor, helpless old woman when you're sitting on money. What money? I said. Don't play dumb, Darren said. You quit your job. You're moving out. You're paying lawyers. Yeah, Mom, we saw the charges on your account. I'd forgotten. I'd been using my old debit card for some things, the account they monitored. Stupid. You have money somewhere, Christina said. An inheritance, a settlement. something. And you're keeping it from us. From your own son. From your grandchildren. My money is my business, I said. Not when you live under our roof, Darren exploded. And that's when he said it. Those words I'll never forget. Get out. I mean it, Mom. Pack your things and get out of my house. You're nothing but a useless parasite now. We stood there in silence. I heard Emma crying somewhere downstairs. I heard a car pass outside. I heard my own heart breaking. Fine, I said. You have until Friday, he added. 3 days. But I didn't wait until Friday. That night at 11 p.m., while they slept, I packed my single suitcase. My clothes, my toiletries, my laptop, the few photos I had left. I called an Uber. I left the journal on the air mattress. Let them read it. Let them see what they'd become. The Uber driver helped me with my suitcase. Moving? He asked. Yes, I said. Finally. Amanda met me at the condo at midnight with the keys. The Golden Girls had rallied. They'd spent the day setting up the essentials. The bed was made, the refrigerator was stocked. There were towels in the bathroom and flowers on the kitchen counter. Welcome home, Ruth, Evelyn said, hugging me. I walked through my new home, my home, and I cried. Not from sadness this time, from relief. I slept 10 hours that night, in a real bed, in silence, with no alarm set. I woke at 9 a.m. on Monday, March 11th, and made coffee in my own kitchen. I stood on my balcony in my bathrobe and watched the sun on the lake. I was free. Darren called 23 times that day. I didn't answer. He texted, Mom, where are you? We need to talk. I texted back once. I'm safe. Don't contact me again. Christina texted, Ruth, stop being dramatic. Come home and we'll discuss this like adults. I blocked them both. For 2 weeks, I disappeared into my new life. I furnished the condo. I went on walks with the Golden Girls. Every day now, not just Tuesdays. I read books. I watched movies. I cooked meals just for myself, eating on my balcony, watching the sunset. I set up my finances with Amanda's help. The trust for Emma and Noah was ironclad. The investments were diversified. My monthly income was secure. And then I started planning phase 2. Remember that $3 million I'd set aside? I want to start a foundation, I told Amanda over lunch at a cafe near my condo, for seniors experiencing financial abuse from their families. Her eyes widened. Ruth? That's brilliant. I want to fund legal aid, housing assistance, counseling. I want to help people like me, people who have nowhere to go, who feel trapped. I paused. And I want to name it the Gerald Murphy Foundation, after my husband. He always said family should be your safety net, not your prison. How much are you thinking? $3 million to start, maybe more later, depending on how things go. Ruth, that's incredibly generous. It's incredibly necessary, I said. If I'd had help sooner, maybe I wouldn't have wasted months living in that storage room. We launched the foundation in April. It made local news. Local woman creates foundation to combat elder financial abuse. The article mentioned the $3 million initial funding, but didn't name me. Amanda had structured it through the LLC, protecting my privacy. But Darren saw it. He must have, because that's when he started showing up. The first time was a Tuesday morning. I was leaving for my walk when I found him sitting on the bench outside my building. Mom, he said, standing. I kept walking. Mom, please, I need to talk to you. No, I said, I'm sorry, okay? We both are. We overreacted, just please come talk to us. I stopped and looked at him. Really looked at him. He looked tired, older. There were dark circles under his eyes. No, I repeated, and I walked away. He tried again the next week, and the week after that. Always apologetic, always asking me to just talk. Then Christina tried. She showed up at the coffee shop where I met the Golden Girls every Thursday. Ruth, please, she said, sitting down uninvited. We miss you. The kids miss you. Emma cries every night asking for Grandma. That hurt. But I kept my face neutral. Then let me see them, I said. Without you and Darren present. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. You want to talk about fair? Look, we made mistakes. We were stressed. We said things we didn't mean. But you're still family. You still owe us. I don't owe you anything, I said quietly. I gave you everything, and you called me a parasite. You threw me away. That's not stress, Christina. That's who you are. Her face changed. The mask dropped. Fine. You want to be alone? Be alone, but don't come crying to us when that little pension runs out and you're eating cat food in some roach-infested apartment. I won't, I said. She stood to leave, then paused. By the way, we know about the foundation. Ruth's Second Chance Holdings, right? Creative name. So you did have money. You were hiding it from us, from your own son. That's disgusting. What's disgusting, I said, is trying to steal from a 70-year-old woman. What's disgusting is financial exploitation of a vulnerable senior. What's disgusting is treating your children's grandmother like a servant. I smiled. But please tell me more about what's disgusting. She left without another word. The calls and visits continued through May. They'd found out about the foundation, which meant they knew I had money. They just didn't know how much. They thought maybe 100,000, maybe 200, enough for a nice condo and a charitable donation. They had no idea. In June, I hired a private investigator. I needed to know how Emma and Noah were doing. The PI reported back. The kids were fine physically. But Emma had asked her teacher why Grandma didn't love her anymore. Noah had drawn a picture in art class of his family. Everyone was there except me. That broke my heart. But it also strengthened my resolve. I started sending the kids letters through Amanda. She'd set up a P.O. box. Nothing that mentioned money or the situation with their parents. Just, Dear Emma, I love you. I think about you every day. You are smart and kind and wonderful. Love, Grandma. Amanda confirmed they were receiving them. Emma had one taped to her wall. In July, something shifted. Darren showed up at my building again, but this time he wasn't alone. Christina was with him, and they had a lawyer. Mrs. Murphy, the lawyer said, my name is Richard Halstead. I represent your son and daughter-in-law. They've asked me to discuss a financial matter with you. I have my own lawyer, I said. Speak to her. This is a family matter, the lawyer said. Surely we can resolve it privately. No, I said. I'm done resolving things privately. Whatever you have to say it through proper channels. The letter arrived 3 days later. They were demanding reimbursement for care and housing provided during my stay with them. Total amount, $78,000. They'd itemized everything. Rent, fair market value of the room, even though it was a storage closet, utilities, food, childcare services provided while you were unavailable, transportation, use of household facilities. This is absurd, I said to Amanda. This is desperation, she replied. They know you have money now. They're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. Can they win? No, you documented everything. You can prove you paid for your own food, that you contributed to utilities, that you provided childcare and housekeeping services, which, by the way, we can countersue for if we want. You worked for them, Ruth. They owe you. I don't want their money, I said. Then what do you want? I thought about it. I want them to understand what they lost. Not the money, they never had that. I want them to understand they lost me, that I was worth more than they saw. Then we respond with the truth, Amanda said. We lay out exactly what happened, we include your documentation, and we make it clear that any further harassment will result in legal action. The response we sent was 30 pages long. Every entry from my journal, backed up with bank statements showing my payments to them, photos of the storage room, copies of their demands for money. We included testimonies from the Golden Girls about my physical and emotional state during that time. We included the text messages, the threats, everything. We ended with this. Mrs. Murphy does not owe your clients anything. In fact, given the documented financial exploitation and elder abuse, your clients are fortunate Mrs. Murphy has chosen not to pursue criminal charges or a civil suit for damages. Any further contact or harassment will be met with a restraining order and a formal complaint to Adult Protective Services. They went quiet for a month. Then, in August, I got a different kind of call. Ruth? It was Emma. She was crying. Grandma, Emma, sweetheart, how did you... I found your number in Daddy's phone. Grandma, I miss you. Why don't you come see us anymore? Did I do something wrong? My heart shattered. No, baby. No, you did nothing wrong. I love you so much. Then why did you leave? Mommy says you abandoned us. She says you got money and didn't care about us anymore. I closed my eyes. Of course that's what they'd told her. Emma, that's not true. I would never abandon you. I left because sometimes grown-ups make living situations that aren't healthy. But I never stopped loving you. I will never stop loving you. Can I see you? I don't know, sweetheart. That's up to your parents. They won't let me. I asked and Daddy yelled. He said you're selfish and you only care about yourself now. I was crying now, too. Emma, listen to me. None of this is your fault. None of it. And when you're older, I'll explain everything. But right now, I need you to know that I love you, and I'm thinking about you every single day. I got your letters, she whispered. I keep them under my pillow. Good, I'll keep sending them. Promise? Promise. After she hung up, I cried for an hour. Then I called Amanda. I want to set up official visitation, I said. I want it documented and legal. They can't keep my grandchildren from me. In Illinois, grandparents have rights, Amanda said. But it's complicated when there's active conflict with the parents. We'd have to prove that visitation is in the children's best interest and that denial of visitation would harm them. Emma called me crying, asking if she'd done something wrong. If that's not harm, what is? Then we file, Amanda said. But Ruth, this will get ugly. It's already ugly, I said. We filed for grandparent visitation rights in September. The court date was set for November. In October, the story leaked to the press. I don't know who tipped them off, maybe someone at the courthouse, maybe someone who'd seen the Foundation article and put two and two together. But suddenly, my face was on the local news. Grandmother fights for visitation after son allegedly calls her useless parasite. They'd gotten everything. The quotes from the court filings, the documentation of abuse, the storage room photos. They called it a shocking case of elder financial exploitation and family betrayal. My phone exploded. Friend requests, interview requests, messages of support from strangers. The story went viral, picked up by national outlets, shared on social media. People were furious on my behalf. But the worst part? Emma and Noah saw it. They came home from school in tears because kids had been asking them about their mean dad who kicked out their grandma. Darren called me, screaming, "You did this! You went to the press!" I didn't, I said truthfully. I've never spoken to a reporter. Bullshit! You're trying to destroy us. My boss saw the story, Ruth, my boss. I'm being called into HR because of you. That's not my fault, I said. Everything is your fault, he screamed. You could have just been grateful. You could have just stayed, contributed, been part of the family. But no, you had to be selfish. You had to... He stopped. How much, Mom? How much did you actually win? Win? The lottery. We know you won the lottery. It's the only thing that makes sense. The foundation, the condo, the lawyer. How much? I was silent. Tell me. That's none of your business, I said quietly. I'm your son. Everything about you is my business. That money, whatever it is, it should be mine. I'm your family, your only family. You stopped being my family when you called me a useless parasite, I said. You stopped being my family when you threw me away like garbage. I paused. And for the record, Darren, even if you hadn't done any of that, even if you'd been a loving, supportive son, that money would still be mine. I earned it. I bought those tickets. It's my money, and I don't owe you a single penny. I hung up. The court date arrived in November. We sat in the judge's chambers, me and Amanda on one side, Darren, Christina, and their lawyer on the other. Emma and Noah weren't there. They'd been interviewed separately by a court-appointed child advocate. "I've reviewed the filings," Judge Martinez said. She was in her 60s, stern but fair-looking. "I've read the documentation from both sides. I've spoken with the children. This is a difficult case." "Your Honor," their lawyer started, "my clients are simply trying to protect their children from a woman who abandoned them." "I've read the storage room photos," Judge Martinez interrupted. "I've read the text messages. I've read Mrs. Murphy's journal entries and her financial records. Let's not waste time with false narratives." She turned to Darren and Christina. "Did you or did you not demand financial contributions from Mrs. Murphy while she was living with you?" "We asked her to contribute to household expenses," Christina said. "That's not unreasonable." "Did you or did you not attempt to coerce her into signing over her Social Security and pension?" Silence. "Did you or did you not tell Mrs. Murphy she was a useless parasite and order her to leave your home?" "I was angry," Darren said. "I said things I didn't mean." "And yet you followed through," the judge said. "Mrs. Murphy did leave. She found her own housing. She's been supporting herself. And now you're claiming she abandoned your children?" She shook her head. "No. What I see here is two parents who financially exploited an elderly family member, then attempted to deny her access to her grandchildren when she escaped that situation. Your Honor, that's not—" their lawyer tried. "I'm not finished." Judge Martinez looked at Emma and Noah's photos on her desk. "The child advocate reports that both children express love for their grandmother. Both children have received regular letters from her. Both children want to see her. The only parties objecting are you two." She made her ruling. I was granted supervised visitation, 2 Saturdays a month, 4 hours each visit. The supervision was to ensure Darren and Christina didn't interfere or make the children uncomfortable. After 6 months, if it was going well, we'd revisit for unsupervised visitation. "And Mr. Murphy," the judge added, "I want to be crystal clear. Any attempt to poison your children against their grandmother, any violation of this order, any harassment of Mrs. Murphy, and I will hold you in contempt. Do you understand?" "Yes, Your Honor," Darren said, his voice small. "My first visit with Emma and Noah was in December, a week before Christmas. We met at a family center with a supervisor present. The kids ran to me, hugging me so tight I could barely breathe. 'Grandma!' Emma cried. 'I missed you so much.' 'I missed you too, baby girl. And you, Noah. Look how big you got.' We spent 4 hours playing games, reading books, making crafts. They told me about school, their friends, their interests. They didn't mention their parents, and I didn't ask. This time was about us. At the end, Emma handed me a drawing. It was our family, her, Noah, and me, no one else. 'For your fridge,' she said. 'It's going right on the front,' I promised." That night, alone in my condo, I hung the drawing on my refrigerator and cried. Not from sadness, from hope. Christmas came. I wanted to see the kids, but it wasn't my scheduled visitation day. I sent them gifts through Amanda. Age-appropriate presents, nothing extravagant. A science kit for Emma, who loves experiments. A dinosaur encyclopedia for Noah, who wants to be a paleontologist. I also sent a card, "Merry Christmas, love Grandma." In January, 6 months after I'd left, the foundation held its first fundraiser. We'd helped 12 seniors in those 6 months. Legal fees, temporary housing, counseling. We were making a real difference. The event was small, just a dinner at a local hotel. But the press came, and Darren saw it. He showed up at my building the next morning. I came down to find him in the lobby. "Mom, we need to talk." "No, we don't. Please, 5 minutes." Against my better judgment, I agreed. We sat in the lobby cafe. "I've been thinking," he said, "about everything that happened, and I was wrong." I waited. "I was wrong to treat you that way. I was wrong to let Christina treat you that way. I was stressed about money, about the new baby coming, about everything. But that's not an excuse." He looked at me. "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm truly sorry." "Okay," I said. "Okay." He seemed surprised. "That's it?" What do you want me to say, Darren? I accept your apology. I believe you're sorry, but that doesn't change what happened. I want to fix things, he said. I want you back in our lives. The kids miss you. I see the kids every other Saturday, I said. That's working fine. I mean really in our lives. Come to Sunday dinners, be at birthdays, be part of the family again. I studied him. Why now? What? Why are you apologizing now? 6 months ago you called me a useless parasite. 4 months ago you tried to sue me for money. 2 months ago you told your children I abandoned them. So why now? He looked away. Because I was wrong. Or because you saw the foundation event and realized exactly how much money I have? That's not... The foundation was seeded with $3 million, I said quietly. That's public record, which means I had at least that much to give away. Which means I have more. Is that why you're here, Darren? Because you finally figured out I'm not some sad old woman scraping by on Social Security? Mom, no. Don't lie to me. My voice was steel. I've been lied to enough. We sat in silence. I need you to understand something, I said finally. That money, it's mine. I won it. I'm using it for my security, for causes I believe in, and for your children's future. But not for you. Never for you. You set money aside for Emma and Noah? His eyes lit up. In a trust they can't access until they're 25. You can't touch it. Christina can't touch it. It's theirs. How much? That's between me and them. Mom, that's not fair. I'm their father. I have a right to know. You have a right to nothing, I said. You threw away your rights when you threw me away. Fine. His face hardened. Keep your money. Be alone. But don't expect to have a relationship with my kids if you're going to be like this. I have a court order, I reminded him. And if you violate it, you'll be held in contempt. Is that really what you want? More negative press? More problems at work? He stood. You've changed, Mom. You're not the person I knew. You're right, I said. I'm not. The person you knew let you walk all over her. She let you use her, exploit her, discard her. That person is gone. I stood too. This person? She knows her worth. And her worth isn't measured by how useful she is to ungrateful children. He left without another word. That was 3 months ago. Today is April 2026, just over a year since I left Darren's house. I'm 71 years old and I'm living my best life. I see Emma and Noah twice a month. Our visits are beautiful. We go to museums, parks, movies. We bake cookies. We do science experiments. They're thriving, and our bond is stronger than ever. Darren and Christina keep their distance now. They send cold, formal texts about pickup times. That's fine. The foundation has helped 38 seniors so far. We're expanding, opening a shelter for elderly abuse victims. It's going to be called Gerald's Place. The Golden Girls are still my support system. We walk every morning now, all 5 of us. We have dinner parties, game nights, travel plans. Patricia is teaching me to paint. Dorothy got me hooked on mystery novels. We laugh, we cry, we support each other. I have enough money to live comfortably for the rest of my life. I travel when I want, eat what I want, wake up when I want. I'm free. Sometimes Emma asks about her dad and me. Will you ever be friends again, Grandma? I don't know, sweetheart, I tell her honestly. Sometimes people hurt each other too much to go back. But you still love him? I'll always love him. He's my son. But love doesn't mean letting people treat you badly. Love means having boundaries, protecting yourself, knowing your worth. She nods, thinking. When I grow up, I want to be like you. Kind? I ask. Strong, she says. Last week, Christina called me. It was the first time we'd spoken since the court date. Ruth, I need to tell you something, she said. What? Darren's company is downsizing. He's losing his job. We're in trouble financially. I was silent. We're going to lose the house. We can't make the mortgage payments. We've been living on credit cards and it's all collapsing. I'm sorry to hear that, I said carefully. We need help, she said. We need Ruth. We need money. A loan. Just to get us through. Maybe 100,000? We'd pay you back, I swear. No, I said. What? No, I'm not lending you money. But we're family. Your son is going to be homeless. Your grandchildren... My grandchildren have trust funds, I said. They'll be fine. As for you and Darren, you're adults. You'll figure it out. You have millions, she screamed. Millions. And you're going to let us suffer? I'm not letting you do anything, I said. Your choices led you here. My money isn't a safety net for people who treated me like garbage. You're a selfish, vindictive bitch, she spat. Maybe, I said. But I'm a selfish, vindictive bitch who gets to sleep soundly at night in her own bed, in her own home, without anyone telling her she's useless. Can you say the same? She hung up. I won't lie. Part of me feels guilty. Part of me wants to help because that's who I've always been. The helper, the supporter, the one who sacrifices. But I talked to the Golden Girls about it, and Evelyn said something that stuck. Ruth, helping them isn't helping them. It's enabling them. They need to learn that actions have consequences, that you can't throw people away and expect them to save you when you're drowning. She's right, so I'm standing my ground. Yesterday, I got a letter from Darren, handwritten, 4 pages long. He apologized again, more thoroughly this time. He admitted he'd been terrible, that Christina had encouraged his worst behaviors, that he'd been blinded by greed and stress and entitlement. He said he understands if I never forgive him. He just wanted me to know that he sees now, really sees what he did. He didn't ask for money. He just asked if someday maybe we could have coffee, talk, try to rebuild something. I cried reading that letter, because that's the son I raised, the one who could admit when he was wrong, the one who could grow. I haven't responded yet. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'll tell you what I told Amanda when she asked what I wanted to do. I want to think about it. For once in my life, I'm going to take my time and do what's best for me, not what's best for everyone else. So here I am, 71 years old, with more money than I ever imagined, living in a beautiful home, surrounded by true friends, with my grandchildren in my life, and a foundation that's helping people like me. Would you have forgiven them, or would you have stood your ground like I did? Sometimes I wonder if younger people understand what it's like to be treated as invisible in your own family, to be called a burden when you've given everything, to be thrown away like you're nothing. I'm not nothing, I never was, and neither are you.